ch22. Players or pawns. The last of the 4 green feathered birds returned to roost. They assembled around a nest-like cage that allowed them to fly in the top and walk out the bottom if they ducked their heads. Inside, the bars were sticky with sap and seeds. The final bird chirped and ate busily while the others dozed. A pointed ear listened attentively. "You see, no direct interference," said a sweet, deep voice, like something drawn from the cool bottom of a well on a summer's day. "Oh, we won't be disqualified." A woman's pale hand, written with blue patterns and capped in long, painted fingernails, reached into the armoire inside the burnt farmhouse, only to find the first hanger empty. Her hand moved to the next. A fine burgundy robe, dipped as it were in the very ripest grapes, was on the next hanger. It was a ceremonial vestment. Anyone who knew her order would recognize it. She pulled the robe over her bare skin, light and laced with blue tattoos from head to foot. She took up the birdcage and transformed, complete with her apparel and baggage, into a red falcon. The falcon fluttered among a half-dozen empty mead kegs littered on the ground by the pillaged cellar and flew up directly into the sky. Seen from the right angle, directly below it, there was a square of cloud. This perfect square of cloud seemed to swallow the falcon as it flew up. The curtains on a gold and purple carriage closed a moment later. "Too indirect," came a grumpy comment from the curtain's far side. The carriage turned and moved away from the farmhouse, signs of an enormous struggle resting over it like dust over an old windowsill. As it passed the barn, the carriage door swung open and a huge brown hound bound to the ground and ran into the barn. Finding the main road at last, the carriage rumbled toward the setting sun and the shining waters there. The hound emerges from the barn and sits patiently. It may be a trick of the light, but it seems that the roof of the barn moves and shifts, a long, long shadow cast like dark magic over the countryside.